Satin with the Poetic Mindshift TV. Make sure you like, subscribe, and comment. Hit that notification bell. Man, I'm out here just, on my daily walk, man, my daily jog. Man, what I want to talk about today, man, is about, man, I'm just gonna keep it real. I'm soft. I'm real soft. You know what I'm saying? I got a heart, and sometimes I care too much. But I think a lot of us, man, are like that, man. A lot of us, man, we tend to care too much, or we put our heart in the wrong places. We have a lot of high expectations, which you should only have low expectations. But high expectations, that leads to disappointments. It's a lot of it, man. Afraid to put yourself out there, expose yourself to new experiences, new people. It's a lot of that, man. It's, being honest with people, and I'm not talking about brutally honest. I'm talking about just being honest about your feelings and your emotions. A lot of us, especially men, we tend to not want to put our emotions out there. We tend to not want to put our heart out there. So a lot of us, man, we live, basically live with our heart on our sleeves, and it's not a healthy way to live. It's definitely not. It can get you through a lot of things, get you through a lot of hardships, a lot of heartaches, and save you a lot of heartaches and headaches and all that, right? But it's not a good way to live, because we all want love. It's not healthy to not want love. But like I was saying about just being sensitive, man, I'm real sensitive. So I had to learn that I got to set boundaries when it comes to my heart. So I have no problem showing my heart. I have no problems with it. I have no problem with showing my feelings, my emotions, none of that. I have no problem with it. And then that's because I was so close to the female part of my family. So, it's easy for a woman to be able to show her emotions. So it's not hard for me. It's not hard at all for me to show my emotions. But I had to learn the hard way that you can't show your emotions. You can't show your feelings to everybody. And if you do show your feelings, you better have some type of boundaries around it. And I didn't have any boundaries. I had no boundaries. I had none of that, and I had to start learning how to have boundaries. So it's nothing wrong. This message is for just anybody, man, that just, that's real soft, got a heart, loves to care. It's nothing wrong with that. Just stop having so many expectations. Stop having so many high expectations for so many people. If you want to give, it's okay. Give, but stop expecting things back. Stop expecting someone to give you respect. Stop expecting people to, to give, we got to grow up. We got to grow up in those areas, man. We got to learn, man, that, we got to stop having so much expectations for everybody. And I understand that, like, I know how it feels, when you give somebody respect and they don't want to give you respect back. I understand that fully, but we gotta grow, man. We gotta grow up. We gotta grow up, and we gotta realize, man, people don't have to give us respect, even though we gave them respect. You just gotta find another way to move around it, and disengage with that person, love a person from a distance, things like that. You have to learn how to grow, man, because if you keep on moving the same way, man, it's going to be detrimental to you. It's definitely going to be detrimental to you. So you have to really, 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 really figure out who you are and what you want in life. And like I said, going back to what I was saying about just people who care a lot, and they get hurt, man, you have to learn how to have boundaries around your feelings, your emotions. You have to have your vulnerability. You got to have boundaries around them. You have to set your boundaries. People have to respect it, and like I said, if they don't respect it, then you disengage yourself from that. But you got to have a limit. You got to have limits when it comes to your heart. When it comes to your heart, you got to have limits, man. You can't just give your heart to anybody. You know, it's like, let me give you a list of people that you can give your heart to. You can give your heart to your children, but you still got it, but your children can know a lot about you too. And then, but I could say your wife, your husband, they should know who you are, fully. But, and it's a trick to that too, because I feel like, as far as like in relationships, it should be some type of unpredictability. And I'm not saying as in you should not always be predictable. Like every time, it should be something new about you that your wife or your husband will learn about you. And that's just my outlook on it. But as far as like being vulnerable, you should be vulnerable to your children. You should be vulnerable to your wife and your husband. You should be vulnerable to the people that you in business with. You should be vulnerable in certain relationships that you're in. The vulnerability is called for. You should be open to that. But like I said, everybody else, strangers and stuff like that, a lot of times they don't need that, because they'll take advantage of you. They'll take advantage of you. And I've been like this since I was young, man, 20s, 30s, teenager, just, being very vulnerable. I was a very vulnerable child. I was a very vulnerable kid. And me being vulnerable and me being really in tune with my emotions, I got misused a lot. I got misused a lot. I got taken advantage of a lot because of my vulnerability. Because no one never taught me you have to have boundaries with your vulnerability. No one ever taught me that. I was just always taught to be vulnerable. I was never taught to be vulnerable and have boundaries. I'm sorry. And that right there turned into, me just being tough. That's why you see a lot of these guys, man, they be running around here, man, they be extra tough. They want to kill everything. The women too, extra tough, want to kill everything. It's because somebody took advantage of their vulnerability. Somebody took advantage of their heart. Somebody took advantage of their softness. Somebody took advantage of their sensitive side. So that part, it's like they want to get rid of that part of them, and they want to be tough, and they want to be, gangsters, and want to hang around the crowds and do stuff that they know they shouldn't be doing. They know it is not in their heart to be doing it, but they doing it anyway. It's because no one taught them how to have boundaries. So they, that's why you'll see a crowd of dudes together. You'll see a crowd of dudes together. Everybody looking tough. Everybody mean mugging, and probably most of them guys in that crowd been taken advantage of. And that's real. So you have to really, man, I'm not scared of the crowd of dudes. I'm scared of the guy that's by himself. He dangerous. Yeah, he real dangerous. But yeah, just going back to what I was saying, man, just have set boundaries around your heart, man. Set boundaries around your heart, your vulnerability, your sensitivity, man. And I know people, it's a lot of people saying, man, you should be open with your heart, and you should expose yourself, and you should be real. And that's not being real. That's not even being authentic. Because if you don't have boundaries around your heart, your emotions, you don't have no boundaries with this stuff, it's not you being authentic. It's like people who get in their feelings and they just telling themselves, oh, I'm just being real. I'm just being real. They'll say something to somebody, man, that's like, okay, maybe they are being honest with what they saying to that person, but they're saying it in a way it's like they trying to hurt that person. And that's not a good thing. You want to say your truth. You want to be honest. You want to be authentic to hurt somebody. So that means something's going on with you that you need to check for yourself. Yes, whatever you said was real. You know, you exposing that person or whatever the case might be. But at the same time, look at yourself though. Why are you doing it? You doing it to hurt somebody? You know? So it's like, that's why I say the vulnerability thing, man, it's like people are just using it just for an excuse. You know, people are using it, oh, I'm just going to be open. I'm going to be myself. It's like people just using it to hurt other people. And that's not cool, man. That's not cool. We got to have boundaries. We got to have boundaries with ourselves. Not just with other people. We got to have boundaries for ourselves. We got to say, okay, well, I know this truth. I know this. I can expose this person if I want to, but I'm not going to do that. That's vulnerability with boundaries. You know, but that's with self, though. Like, I know the truth, but I'm not finna speak that. I'm not going to speak there just to hurt this person, you know? And I know it's hard because, you know, sometimes, it's easily said and done. It's easily said and done. You know, it takes a lot of training. It takes a lot of retraining. It takes a lot of you just mastering yourself. You know, it takes you get into a lot of situations. You know, when you get in that situation, you might know the right thing to do, but you end up going the other route. You know, that's why it's always good to not to emotionally react, but mentally respond. You know, it's good to do that. Not to emotionally react, but mentally respond. And, you know, because of a lot of us, we emotionally react. We do things that make us feel good. You know, so but that's what I was saying as far as like you being open, you having a heart, you just being yourself. It's nothing wrong with that. It's nothing wrong with having fun, being silly. You know, even if you got a little negativity in you want to get it out, it's not wrong with it, but just have boundaries when you do it. Learn your limits. Whatever your limit is, you need to learn it. Learn your limits, how far you can go. Learn your triggers. These are the things that you have to learn. And I know it's hard, man. Trust me, I make a mistake. Every time I think I got it right, I make a mistake. And it's like, come on, man. Did you already learn that? You already learned that. Why is you still making the same mistakes? But it happens, right? You know, you just got to keep on going and you just got to keep on working on self. You know what I'm saying? So don't live your life like it's your last, you know. Live your life like it's your first day living, you know. Get up every day, man, like it's a brand new day. You know, don't live your life like the last. You know, I was going that route, 20s and early 30s, like on that street mindset of just living your day like your last. But man, live your day like, as I get older, man, live your day like your first. All right, man. Make sure you like, subscribe, and comment, hit that notification bell. Love, peace, and power.